In this video, we're going to go over the 4 fundamental aspects of swell riding. These are wave selection, your position on the wave face, the depth at which your foil is operating, and your movement on the wave and between waves. Most of this is relevant to any type of wave foiling, but it's of particular note to aspiring parawingers who are going to be getting used to not having that wing as a backup for the first time. Now, waves travel in sets, but the set itself only moves at half of the speed of the waves. Now, you can think about this as the front wave shrinking as it races ahead of the set, while the rearmost wave is building as it catches up and enters the set. What this means is if you have the habit of getting on that first big wave you see, you're going to be chronically getting shorter rides. Whereas if you ride upwind through the whole set and get on that last wave, it's going to sustain much longer. And don't worry if you pass through the set, just get on the last bump behind it, and before you know it, that's going to become a set wave. Ask most surfers out there and they'll tell you the best way to ride waves is to get really high first. Now, the reason this doesn't just apply to their pregame rituals is that when you're way out front of the wave, you're just not in the energy. The circulation that gives us free lift is stronger higher up in the wave, so focus on staying in the upper third for most of your riding. The worst offenders on this are often those with the most board sports experience. They're so used to positioning their body near the surface of the water, when they're not paying attention, they consistently move lower to this more natural feeling position. Regardless of your previous experience though, the best way to improve this is to get video of yourself to analyze and critique later. Not only is there more energy higher in the wave, but by riding with your foil closer to the surface, you're also going to be dragging less of your mast, and your foil produces less induced drag due to changes in the downwash dynamics. Similarly, getting video of yourself is the best way to break the bad habit of riding too low on your mast. I'd also challenge you to try riding a few waves with the intent to be so close to the surface that breaching is inevitable. This is going to give you a much better feel for when you're getting too close and understanding how much efficiency you're leaving on the table in your normal riding. At the most basic level, your line is just the angle you take across the wave face. A steeper angle means you travel with more speed. Too much and your foil won't be able to keep up and you're going to lose the wave, whereas not enough, you'll run straight down the wave face, outrun the wave, and probably bog down trying to climb the backside of the wave in front of you. The takeaway here is to find the angles at which you can cut across the swell to build or maintain your speed. Note that this is why a foil with a really wide efficiency range is superior for wave riding, since it opens up more angles at which you can ride. The problem with holding a line is you'll often outrun the best section of a wave, but this is where turning comes in. Aggressive turns will allow you to stay in the best section of a wave while maintaining a fast line. If you haven't tried building as much speed as you can and then dropping back a wave, you're in for a treat. This is probably my favorite maneuver in swell riding and something I do quite a bit. Not only does it set you up to glide into a really fun connection turn, but it also prolongs your ride since you can keep doing this and consistently move back in the set and stay in the best waves longer. Another great technique on wave reading is to focus on the wave in front of you. Firstly, this gives you a great idea of what the wave you're on is doing, or rather about to do. And secondly, the peak of that forward wave is a great height reference for where you want to place your foil. Of course, there's lots of other subtleties in reading waves and moving between swells, but with a good understanding and practice of these basics, you're going to be well on your way to long rides. Regarding equipment selection, with all else being equal, a smaller board will be more maneuverable, meaning you can be more reactive to changing wave dynamics and pump more efficiently. What I tell people is to ride the smallest board they're not afraid to fall off of. If you're avoiding pushing your personal limits because you're not confident you can easily get back on foil, then I think you're on the wrong board. This is why at Omen, we use data and simulations alongside constant refinements to get the most possible efficiency from our boards, which ultimately means you can get the best of both worlds as a rider. One last point I'll leave you with is to use pumping strategically. While it's a super valuable skill, and at times the conditions or a rider mistake absolutely call for it, really try to force yourself to use the techniques we discussed in this video and think about pumping as a last resort. Please let me know in the comments if you have any other techniques or tips that have helped you push past a plateau in your wave riding, and as always, happy to answer any questions from the community.